Just do it.
Hi, and welcome back to the Postmodern family. This is part 2 of a 2-part series on why Lillian became a homemaker. And if you like what you hear, hit a like. If you really like what you hear, subscribe.
If there's anyone else out there who is also a stay-at-home mom, let's hear your comments and your support.
Yes, support us.
After getting married, and we moved to Baltimore, where Felipe got his first job after his PhD, I got a teaching position in the area, and I also started singing in professional choirs in the area. And I feel like I was getting pretty well established and enjoying my public school posts.
Yeah, and actually there was a period there where my contract ended with my first employment, and I specifically decided to look for jobs only in Baltimore because she was starting to get traction in her career.
That's right. And we were near Peabody, which is a great music conservatory, and I was considering going back and getting my doctorate in musical arts, my DMA, so that I could possibly become a college professor in the music department in the future.
So that was that first chapter of our life, was basically both of us pursuing careers, and I even compromised a bit to make sure she could pursue her career as well.
So then we got pregnant, and having a baby was just a life-changing experience.
Yeah, it made us ask questions we never asked before and have considerations we haven't considered before.
Originally, while we were pregnant, I had considered just we would find an au pair or a live-in nanny, and I would go back to work. I would have been luckier than most women who have only 6 weeks paid and then 12 weeks total. I got 6 weeks paid, and then I got the whole rest, like the next 6 weeks plus the whole summer off. And so during that time, raising a tiny little baby, I just couldn't imagine putting her into the care of anybody else. I didn't feel comfortable leaving her to go and teach other people's kids.
It made us ask some really difficult questions about who was going to model adulthood for her. We came to the conclusion that we don't trust other people, or just the public at large, the public school, media, just the kind of value system and the society that had been formed around us was not a world that we wanted her to adopt.
Every subsequent month after I handed in my resignation, I had like a life crisis, like what am I doing with my life? What is my career? I'm just staying at home, and what am I doing staying at home?
As though staying at home means doing nothing.
We just get bombarded with, the equal rights. Women should be, just as good as men, and they should go out and pursue blah, blah, and everything. And they just make it seem like staying at home and taking care of children is just so low on the bar. Like, that's not an aspiration. That is not respected.
You have so many gifts, and you're not sharing them with the rest of the world. You're not becoming renowned and famous and gaining respect and honor for your family.
Right.
Meanwhile, your children are just being raised by whomever. My hypothesis is one of the reasons why, it's emphasized that women have to pursue their own career is as a safety net for when divorce happens. Because it's gonna happen, you are protected. So you have a career to fall back on, you have money making, and not only that, but you have leverage in the marriage, basically.
And that's why people always advise that you have separate accounts, and we actually don't. We decided that we would pool all of our money into the same place.
We avoided all the advice that everyone gives that builds a sort of independence, a state of separation within the marriage for the just in case.
It was quite a transition in the beginning, having to live off of one income, and that one income being Felipe's. And I kind of felt like some sort of either like a leech or some sort of like paid servant, because he's paying for me to live and then so therefore I've got to cook and I've got to clean and I've got to take care of the baby. So I felt like some sort of employee of his. That's not the right mindset either.
Yeah, I hand over my whole check to her every time. Basically, it's not really mine. It's the family's, and that's what marriage, that's what family really is. It's a single unit. Things are all in common.
We realize that not everyone can live off of a single income, and it's not easy. It's not like you make tons and tons of money. There is sacrifice there that we feel. This is your sacred duty, mothers out there, that you raise your children and you impress upon them the values that you deem important.
And to the husbands, this isn't about that you do the 40 hours at work and you come home and sit on your rear because you've done your 40 hours. You're doing the 40 hours because the end goal is to support the family. So when you come home, you still have to support the family, which means that if she's fallen to pieces because there's so many things to do at home, then you pitch in. You do the dishes, you do the laundry, you do whatever it takes. Leadership is about servitude, it's about serving the family, sacrificing, even giving your life for it. The moment your bride, your wife sees that you think you've done your bit and you're done serving and now it's time for you to serve yourself, that's the moment that she starts doing that too. And then that's the moment you start going down a slippery slope of fragmentation, each person serving their own interests and not the interest of the family unit. The actual traditional model of the family is everyone is a servant to the family unit. Having a child was a fundamental transformation about what marriage life was about. There's a lot to the saying that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The mothers of the world actually raise the children that then go on to run the world. And so in effect, mothers are laying down the groundwork for the ruling of the world. It just boils down to what value system did you want? Did you want the value system that is just common out there in the public? Or do you want a different set? And if you want a different set, then you have to take control as much as possible.
I hope you guys like our videos. Subscribe to our channel for new videos 3 times a week. Thanks for watching. Bye!